Hello, my name is Paula Delaney and I'd like to welcome you to this information exchange about a new and very exciting course that we are running at the Liberties College. The course is called Textiles and Heritage Craft. The aim of the course will be to teach participants all the traditional crafts of lace making, patchwork, felting, and weaving. And the course is about exploring the ways of creating and working with beautiful textiles, all natural fiber, using all natural fibers, wool, silk, cotton, linen. Students will learn about design, looking at traditional designs, looking at ways of how to interpret and understand design, and how to use some traditional designs in their work, but also enabling them to invent their own designs. Concepts of sustainability and upcycling will also be explored. Many of us, if we were to explore drawers or presses in our homes, we will find pieces of traditional textiles that have just been lying there. So we will actually look at some of these old pieces of textiles and breathe new life into them. Upscaling, repurposing, and again, recreating beautiful and usable textiles. Again, maybe for interior design purposes, or using them and incorporating them into wearable items. In this slide here, we can see weaving, and there's a sample of 2 woven scarves, one in wool and the other using mohair and silk, and these were woven on the rigid heddle loom. Course participants will learn the skills and knowledge of many of the traditional crafts from Ireland, and one of these is lace making. And the particular craft of lace making that we're going to focus working on is Carrickmacross lace. And this slide here shows us a typical pattern from Carrickmacross lace with filling stitches. Carrickmacross lace has been used in many different ways, I suppose, for interior design, but also used in wearable items. For example, this baby gown here. And also here we see a Carrickmacross lace blouse showing detail of filling stitches and also little pops that are unique to Carrickmacross lace. The course will offer participants the opportunity to learn the skills of these traditional crafts and to use them in many different ways for interior design, but also to use them and incorporate them in a contemporary way into wearable items. Participants will get the opportunity to learn about patchwork and quilting and many different ways of working with fabric and manipulating fabric, again, through hand stitching, through machine stitching and embellishing. Here we have an example of patchwork, but again, it has been used and created into a wearable item. And this represents a kimono style jacket that was used or made using the traditional log cabin block. In this slide, we can see samples of fabric landscapes. Some have been created using applique, and we can see evidence of machine quilting, free motion stitching, and also the use of embroidery to embellish the landscape. This is a sample of painting on fabric, and again using free motion stitching and hand embroidery to embellish the painting. Again, in this slide here, we have an example of exploring with fabric, layering with fabric, using different types of stitching, again, free motion stitching, different types of fabric, all to create texture and design. Participants on the course will learn about design, looking at traditional designs. Also, they will learn the techniques of creating, maybe changing designs, but also inventing their own designs. Here again, we have an example of a plique. And again, we can see embellishing with machine stitching and beads. In working with crafts, we need to be inspired. And where do we get our inspiration? Inspiration is all around us. It comes from looking at colour, looking at nature, looking at shape. And here in this slide, we can see the inspirations that a student got for creating the piece of felting work in the next slides that you're going to see. So again, from the inspirations of nature, we choose our palette. And in this situation here, we're choosing the wool fibres for creating a piece of felting work. Here we have an example of how we lay the fibres. So laying the layers of fibres to create the desired image. Building up the layering, we can see the tonal effect and using colours. And continuing to build up and create the design. Applying variation again in the tones of the wool fibre. Adding water and soap to the wool fibre. Felt is created by the use of moisture and soap and friction. And the felt, pieces of felt that we create, they're one of the oldest textiles, non-woven textiles. Continue to wet the fibres, preparing to roll the fibres using bubble wrap paper and a towel. And the process of rolling and looking at the image before and after rolling. And the final finished product when it has been dried, and we can see that there's been some embellishing added, and here in this case it's a little silk ribbon. Here we have a felting image of a poppy, and we can see that hand embroidered stitches have been used. Felting is a beautiful fibre to work with and to embellish on with stitching. It almost creates like a quilted effect. Also, we can see it has been embellished further by using beadwork. Continuing to work on the process of beading, and we also can see here on the stems where different shape beads have been used to add effect. Again, we can see poppy embellishment and detail here. Here we have an example of a wet felted image of an eye. And in order to create the effect of the eyelashes and to enhance the detail of the eye, free motion stitching has been used. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to view our presentation. And if you wish to find out any further details, please see our website, www.libertiescollege.ie, for further information. Thank you.